Hello, this is Yuri with Funnel Insiders. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can set up your columns in Facebook ads so that you can actually measure your KPIs. You may notice your default columns are set to performance. Now, this really doesn't tell us anything. The default setting in Facebook, and though it says performance, it really doesn't tell us anything about the ad performance. Let's go ahead and set up our columns. Click on Customize Columns right in the Columns area. It's going to bring you to the screen. Now we're going to remove everything that we don't need. We don't need errors. Delivery can stay. The ad set name, well, it's redundant because it's right here. Bid strategy, not important. Budget can stay. Last significant edit, not important. Results can stay. Reach and impressions are redundant, so I would recommend just choosing one. In this case, let's just select impressions. Cost per result, it's a generic way for us to measure our campaign. We can leave it. Amount spent should be right above budget. Cost per result, ends, don't need that. Schedule, don't need that. Relevance score, not very important. Link clicks, we'll get to that later. 3-second video views, well, if you're running a video campaign, that's important, but we don't really need that here. And percentage watched, it's important, and we can leave that here at the end. And video average watch time, we can also leave that if you're running videos. So these are the first set of metrics that we need. Now, let's take a look at our actual campaign performance metrics. First, we're going to look for CTR. There's two kinds of CTR on Facebook. There's CTR all and CTR link. We need both. All determines our actual ad engagement, and link determines the number of users who are actually clicking on the link. These are both very important, and they'll be drastically different compared to each other. But CTR all is a barometer of social engagement, and CTR link is an actual measurement of how many users are clicking on the link. Another measure of the ad performance, but it's going to be much less than CTR all. Moving on, we want the next stage in the funnel. In most cases, view content is going to be the next stage in the funnel. I often get asked, well, what's the difference between view content and CTR link? View content pixels typically fire at a delay compared to a click on an ad. Because a pixel has to load on the site, there's going to be a slight delay, and I always recommend setting a 5-second delay on view content pixels anyway. So we're going to look at content views and then cost per content view. We don't need mobile app unless you're running mobile app. We don't need offline, and we don't need on Facebook view content, just website content views. Then we need our cost per content view. If you're running a lead campaign, the next step you want is leads. Now there's two types of leads. There's a Facebook form leads, and then there's a lead from an actual page that you send users to. We're running traffic to a page that we're generating leads from, so we want to have these metrics shown. We're going to put lead total, and cost. Those are our two next metrics. We don't need offline leads, only online leads. If you're running an e-commerce campaign, the next logical step in the funnel is an add to cart. So we're going to put total and cost. And again, we don't need offline, we don't need mobile, and we don't need on Facebook. After add to cart comes initiate checkout. Again, this is for e-commerce campaigns. We don't need offline, we don't need mobile. Then comes purchase. Click on total and cost. We don't need on Facebook, we don't need offline, and we don't need mobile. Then finally, if you want, you can include your ROAS, or your return on ad spend. This is also an important metric. We can use this to determine our effectiveness on our actual Facebook campaigns. Now, click the apply button. And you're going to notice your columns are a lot more organized and they make a lot more sense. Now sometimes you'll have two redundant things like content views and website content views. We can remove one of them. But this is just fine. This is much more understandable than the performance column organization. Now we're going to click on the columns drop down and set this as a default, and we're going to name it something like this. Whatever you'd like, just so you can identify it later. Click OK. Now your columns are set, and every time you open up your campaign, Now your columns are set, and every time you open up your account, you'll see this setup. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe.